Hi, so let me start straight away with what the fit main window looks like. So if you look here, this is the uh, directory input window. This is the place where you mention which directory you want to load the data from. This is where you select what you want to analyze, whether you want to analyze the top data, free data, which is there in this directory. This is the start and end date that you want to analyze. For example, you might have some thousands and thousands of logs, but to save time, you might want to load only a range of dates, right? So you can do that right here. Right. So now let me choose a directory, and we can analyze the data in that directory. So I'll choose top logs. And in this one does not work right now, so it doesn't matter. So next what I'll do is I'll select the dates, um, and yeah, and click launch. Okay, so this is the top window that came up after I clicked on the launch button. So here you can see that you have a user list box. Let us select everyone. Similarly, you have the process list box. Let's select all the processes. Then you have the param list. We want to analyze the memory right now, so we'll click on the memory, which is res. Res is what you see in the um, top log. Then we'll click on the summary button where summary plot. So when you select this option, you get a summary plot for the entire duration for which the log was collected. Right, let's start. So this is your summary plot. This is the summary for the entire duration of the collection of the logs. So if you look at this, you will notice that you have a max data here, max memory usage here, a min memory usage here, and mean memory usage and standard deviation for this mean per user. So all this data is per user, right? So if you look at this, we can straight away see that, if you look at the max tab, you can see that there are a bunch of users that are going beyond 1 gig at some point in time, and the same users are actually at an average of 1 gigs, right? So they have a mean of 1 gigs. So when we're talking about mean, we also talk about the variance. So the variance for these three are really huge, right? But for this person is quite small. That means that we can rely on this mean more than these means, right? So looking at this summary plot, we can see that we can get whom we want to focus, right? We want to focus on 4 people right now. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's select those 4 users, right? One, the other user is somewhere here, the other user, right? So now I'll select all processes and try to see when they used how much, right? Let's click on this. Okay, so this is the user mem versus time plot. So you can see in this plot, you can see at what time what user was using how much memory. So we selected 4 users, and we can see 4 users plot here. So you can see that the first user is using the memory usage here. The person peaked at this point somewhere around uh, November 13th, right? And second user peaked somewhere around on exactly on November 5th, right? And the time the person did that was at around 8 o'clock, right? So then you have the third person here, then you have the fourth person here. So this is a time series plot. So let's take a look at what the second person is doing to actually cause such a large usage of memory. For that, what we'll do is we'll go to the top window and then select. Let's have all of them selected, right? And let's take a process versus param plot for these users with all the processes selected, right? This is the process versus memory summary plot. So in this you can see that the x-axis is jumbled up a lot. That is because there are so many users out there, but that's not a problem because we can already see that it is this is one process that is eating up a lot of memory. Same goes for this process, right? The average of this process is really huge. So what we're going to do is then we're going to zoom in now, right? Let's zoom in, and you can see that's GWIM that's eating up a lot of memory here, which is at some 28 gigabytes. 28 gigabytes is what this user was using. So it looks like maybe this user was using GWIM when actually it maxed out. When it actually maxed out, right? We won't know, but we won't know um, until we actually see the process versus time plot. Right? Then we'll take a look at this process, this other process. What this process is about? This is the process name is Novus. So the average usage is at what can I say? It is at 6 gigabytes, right? So the max was at, interestingly, it was at 16 gigabytes, right? So let's analyze these two processes. There is another process out here which is Java. So we can also analyze that process. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the top window, and with these users selected, we will unselect all the processes and select only three process, which is one should be your GWIM, there should be Novus, then the other one was Java, GHIJK, right? So let's plot. In the process versus time plot, we can see that out of the three processes, the one in green here, which is GWIM, it's actually, this is the one that is causing the maximum memory usage. But if you look at the others, you will find that they are somewhere around 11 gigs max, right? But in this case it's 16 gigs, right? uh, Java is pretty much nowhere, so we can rule that out. So if you look at these two, so let's take the maximum one first. So in this one maxed out somewhere around yeah, this one is somewhere around fifth, which is somewhat same time as this one. So we can say that the second user, right, was using GWIM at which point it maxed out. But for the third and fourth users, the first, third, and fourth users, we can see that it is actually Novus which is actually causing the memory usage. For example, if you look at this guy here, the fourth person, you can see that it matches with what Novus is doing. Similarly, if you look at this person here, it matches with Novus, what Novus was doing here. Then if you look at this person here, first person, so it matches, the pattern matches here. It is slightly above than this because the other two users are also using Novus at that time, and that adds on to the overall memory usage. Yeah, so you can see that from a bunch of top logs we can see when the user was using what to cause a lot of memory usage. Now suppose, consider a scenario where all the users here are using a process, and we want to find out if there are a few users that are using the process in a different way, which is causing unnecessary excessive usage of memory. We can do that by by looking at the summary plot. For example, let's select all the users here, then let's select only Novus. Right, and then click on the user versus parent plot. we are looking at the user memory summary plot, which we plotted only for Novus process. So we can see that there are some 4 users that are actually using Novus in a way that's causing Novus to use a lot of memory. One can go in person and check on what they're actually doing, what commands they run to cause such large usage of memory, right? And coming back to the fit top window, you can see that currently we have a bunch of tools which we can use, with which you can use, which we can analyze the resource usage of various users, and we can also get a process specific view, which process is taking what amount of memory, and reach some conclusion based on this data.